When the whole town pulls the trigger, the Ken McElroy case, Skidmore, Missouri, 1981. It's a Tuesday morning, July 10th, 1981. A man walks out of a small-town bar in broad daylight and gets shot twice, once in the head, once in the neck. He dies right there in the street. And here's where it gets strange. There are 46 witnesses, 46 people standing within eyeshot of this killing: farmers, shopkeepers, mothers, retired veterans, lifelong residents of Skidmore, Missouri, population 440. Not one of them saw anything. Police interviewed every single person present that morning. 46 statements, 46 variations of the same answer. I don't know. I didn't see who fired. I can't say. No arrests were ever made. No one was ever charged. The case remains officially unsolved. But here in Skidmore, everyone knows exactly what happened, and almost no one thinks it was wrong. To understand what happened on that street, you first have to understand what that town had already survived. Because the man who died that morning, Ken McElroy, wasn't just a man. He was, by almost every account, the closest thing to a real-life monster that rural America had ever produced. McElroy grew up dirt poor in the Missouri Ozarks. By the time he was an adult, he had been accused of, or charged with, rape, child molestation, assault, arson, hog theft, and rustling. He fathered somewhere between 10 and 15 children with multiple women, some of whom he began pursuing when they were barely teenagers. He was charged with a felony 21 separate times. He was convicted once, and even then, he never spent a single day in prison. Here's why. McElroy had a system. Whenever witnesses came forward, he would, allegedly, visit them personally, sit outside their homes in his truck, clean his rifle on the hood. He never had to say a word. The message was always received. Witnesses recanted, cases collapsed, prosecutors gave up. For 3 decades, this man ruled Skidmore through pure, weaponized terror. In 1980, McElroy got into a dispute with an elderly grocery store owner named Bo Bowenkamp, a man in his 70s who everyone in town loved. The argument was allegedly over a piece of candy his daughter was accused of stealing. McElroy shot Bowenkamp in the throat with a shotgun, outside, in front of people. Bowenkamp survived, barely. McElroy was charged with assault, and for once, just once, the jury convicted him. He was sentenced to 2 years, but his lawyer immediately filed for an appeal, and the judge astonishingly allowed McElroy to remain free on bail while the appeal was processed. The very next day after sentencing, McElroy drove back into Skidmore. He parked on the main street. He walked into that same bar, and he sat there, rifle across his lap, and told anyone who'd listen exactly what he was going to do to Bo Bowenkamp when he got out. That was the night the town decided. The following morning, the Nottoway County Sheriff called an emergency town meeting. Over 200 people showed up in a town of 440. The meeting lasted about an hour. When it was over, the crowd moved toward the main street. McElroy was still in his truck. His wife, Trina, was in the passenger seat. He'd just bought a pack of cigarettes. Then, from somewhere in that crowd, 2 shots rang out. 1 rifle, possibly 2. Nobody ever agreed. McElroy slumped forward, dead before anyone called for help. Trina later said she saw who fired. She gave the police a name. The witnesses around her suddenly remembered nothing. Her testimony went nowhere. The prosecuting attorney declined to pursue charges. What happened in Skidmore wasn't random mob violence. It was organized silence. A town that had exhausted every legal option, every hotline, every courthouse, every appeal, and arrived collectively at a decision that the system had refused to make for them. 46 people chose in unison to become a wall. Criminologists still study this case. Sociologists call it a community homicide, one of the only documented examples in modern American history where an entire civilian population closed ranks around a killing and held that line permanently. No one cracked. Not in the 1980s, not in the 1990s, not before death. The secret went into the ground with the people who held it. So here's what I keep coming back to. When the law repeatedly fails to protect the innocent, and a community silently decides to protect itself, is that justice? Or is it just another name for what we're afraid to call it? If this story made you think, really think, about where justice ends and something darker begins, you're not alone. Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more stories about the moments when ordinary people do extraordinary and sometimes terrifying things, subscribe. New case every week.